Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Preliminary greeting. Secondary greeting. My name is Chimoge. You can also call me Moge. Welcome to Chimoge's Island. If you warmed up, check out the warm up on the accordion, please. As you can see in the title today, I'll be thinking about AKAASH Singh and the situation surrounding him. One more time, greet my audience. I pray for my audience. I pray for myself. I pray for my bloodline. I pray for my people. And my family. Call us all. May they come back better. Both those living and returned. Because even when you're alive, you can remake yourself and come back. The light echo returns. That animal you call the chicken, it returns. It comes back for justice. Great men come back for justice. Anyone can be part of a man. One man can be a man. A group can be a man and return for justice. Anyway, welcome. Anyway, I want to think about that situation just because it is all over the news, as they say. And it confuses me, quite frankly. I just want to center the discourse on AKAASH Singh, just because I think he's the name who has come up the most that deserves scrutiny. I will say that. If any other name has been coming up, even if I mentioned them previously, I don't think they deserve scrutiny. I'll just say it like that. Anyway. Let's go. We'll have to write some things down. Start with a blank page. Again, welcome to anyone who's here. Viewers not yet registered, but I know viewers could be here not yet have registered in a way I can see. And welcome to anyone watching this in the future. Again, the purpose of this is to document my thoughts and to help my audience know my inner thought process, as well as just to get my ideas out very quickly. Anyway, so I start with a blank page. Let's just go. Abu Muhammad Ha, Abu Moki Khan. Abu Si Say Sa, Abu Si Say Sa, Muhammad Ha, Si Say Sa, Si Say Sa, Abu Muhammad Ha, Abu Si Say Sa. Abu Satan, pray Satan away every morning. Neurological problems driven away, and then act. We must act. Prayer is the blessing towards our actions. Anyway. Okay. So let's go. First thing I'm thinking, red pill. That'll be quadrant 1. Because it looks like this is related to that so-called red pill movement. It's distressing. Here's what I mean when I say I'm divided into quadrants. I hope you can see my notes there. I think I'm sounding British. Anyway, I don't think there's a way to speak English where you like how you sound. I guess for most people. Anyway, I like talking like this better than how it sounded before. Remember, speaking English used to have all these throat issues. And I just want to make it clear. I know. So let me say it a different way. I just want to say it like this. I'll say it from 2 ways. One, English is not natural to anybody. So nobody should feel that they're bad if, they don't feel comfortable speaking English. That's whether or not you grew up surrounded by people who speak English or not, whether or not it was your so-called first language or not. And then secondly, just, I guess, to somewhat step on the idea I put out, Because English is not anyone's first language, no one should be obsessed with it. Speak it as necessary. That's well, anyway. Okay, red pill comedy. Not a fan of comedians in the comedy world. That is a big one. Is it comedy? Or do you just seek out women for verbal destruction? Let's see. Are they laughing or are they stunned? The Art of War. Abu Mario Hub. Abu Mario Hub. Abu Mario Hub. Abu Mario Hub. Abu Uku Kevin. Abu Uku Kevin. Abu Moku Kevin. Abu Kon Amadio Hub. Ka all new. I think you call it beat. That's a ka all new. Konu. Smash your mouth. Think about it. Abu Mario Hub. Abu Mario Hub. Si se su sa ka ra ta ta ta. Abu Mario Hub. Abam ya ya ya. Abama yang yi ku ru hub. Abama yang ne ku ne kun. Abu Madio hub hub. Alright. So that's another nexus of thought. Third, what is it? Because again, people have the discourse I've seen seems to have targeted AKAASH Singh's wife. Again, I don't want to bring her name up too much. I'll be clear, I think it's a very serious issue. Let's see. Also, Ikenga, number 3, movement. Adding the 2 I had before about English. No one should feel bad if the way they speak English changes over time. Because being able to engage in verbal combat, which is what this is as a child, is not really possible. So, yeah, anyway. Abu Mario Hub. Abu Mario Hub. Okay. So what is the central issue? I think that's it. Is it one issue? Just put what is the central issue, really? Because romantic history of someone else's wife, I don't know. And I've talked about this. Check out my live stream over on Moge, the personal channel, about this issue. AKAASH Singh's name was in the title, you can find it. But I want to expand up on it. This is everywhere. Is it leader? Squadron 3, let's circle that again. Abu Madio Hub, Abu Moki K-Cut, Abu Mko K-Cut, Abama Yang, Mone Yibu Ya, Abama Yang, Mone Mibune Ba, Abu Madio Hanenagu Ka, and I goo, and I goo, and I goo, and I goo, 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 and I goo, and I goo, and I goo, 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 and I goo, and I goo, and I goo, 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 and I goo. Anime, Abu Guri, give me that. Abu, you should eat you down on that deal. Abu, you Abu, Kike, Abu, say so. Abu, you register the viewer. Thank you very much. Shout out to all my viewers. You can donate in real time as you want with the Venmo. You can see there, that's for the overall media company. And then you can also, if you wish, go to my Patreon and buy my art. And you can also subscribe. There's ways to support. Thank you very much. Let's think. That's a nice idea. Yes, this will be a constantly a creepy part of music for the future. I boom my idea. Red pill. The manosphere is in there, obviously. See, I've done a couple videos on the manosphere. Check it out. I want to talk more about it. Even I'll just leave it at that. Should I just focus? Maybe I should focus that discourse on the red pill. Oh, I get it. It's like if you play video games and transitions live, you hear that sound? It's like it's cooking. I think this is what it is. You hold up a rock and you just do this. You spin, you're thinking, cooking. Yes. Abu Waladi, huh? Abu Amana. That is anger. I don't know what to do with it. What is the central issue? Let me just put the fourth thing I'll look at is I'll just call it the global romantic relationship crisis. The global romantic. I get it now. I think I have to be more targeted. I guess it's like people who are talking about AKAASH Singh, why are they talking? Why are you running? Why are the incels talking? Yes, maybe that's the best way to phrase it. Because it really is an incel discourse. Yes. And then that connects here. Yes, okay. Let's just wake up and constantly talk about one individual's love life. That is a sign of a sick person, anyway. Ugh. Let me get this next one. That looks nice. Okay. so my thoughts. A lot of this is, to be very quick, spiritual. Again, I like to use other terms technically, but let's use that quickly. But then there's the physical aspect. What does that mean? There's a global romantic relationships crisis. And then there's the crime crisis. Because what people often miss is that what I will just call, to be polite here, violation is the nexus of crime. Because in order for someone to be the victim of that crime, they have to also have been kidnapped. And the kidnapping, along with another type of attack, which is, I'll just say, hard to conceive of, is allowed in society, then any crime can be done. So, that sits it all down. But anyway, criminals tend to just generally have a negative disposition towards a romantic relationship. They also tend to seek out women for destruction. And then, in particular, the ones who engage in that crime and related things, well, they just have the most to say. So, anyway, here's my paper. Okay, these are 4 things. What will I do with them? I guess I got to put out the ideas. I guess it's a different issue I've done. Okay. So that's the paper. That's the paper. No. Something else I want to get out. I'm gonna complete this paper. Anything to complete here? To add stuff to this second. Let's look at it. When I was talking about yesterday, I'm thinking about mixing and then also moving. That's my content before publication and the publication process, the creation process. And there's other things like, there's uniting my content, G-code. So like if I have multiple clips that are supposed to be part of one video, putting them together like in the program, you see. You know about that. I think I have that down. I think it's just because it's so close to these other processes. Makes me anxious. Yeah. Abu Mamadi Yohan, Abu Mokike Ka. Also, that word nexus I use, what does that mean? It's the central thing that unites it all and allows it all to exist. That's what that means. Anyway, the nexus. Abu Radio. Abu Kike, Abu Kike never, Abu Makuzu, never. Movement. I'm really just anxious about the details of these two processes, the mixing and the moving, because they're just little details. Okay, and then for some reason in my mind, I've applied that anxiety to note taking, which is not as big. What do I call that? Saw. Let's call that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All saw. The number of pace is 20. The number of pace is 20. The number of pace, the number of praise. The number of praise is 20. The number of praise is 20. I praise 20, 20. I praise Henny. Henny also. You also. Henny is also. Henny is also. Henny is also. Okay. Anyway, these are my symbols. The pens I'm using are kind of dull, but that's just what I brought with me. Anyway, I'm done for today. Thank you very much. I think I'll just leave you guys with one bonus piece of information behind development. Yeah, I'll just leave you with one bonus piece of information for higher development. What will be? I just saw 2 times 11. I'll make a really I was wondering if Washington away from this place, and let's end the global romantic relationships crisis. Yes, that's my wish. Expand forever. Expand forever. God. All right, what's the bonus piece of information? Here's the bonus piece of information for higher development. Verbalize your disagreements with people in a healthy manner. It is good for your health and overall well-being. Verbalize your disagreements with other people in a healthy and constructive manner. It is good for your overall health and well-being as well as for that of society. Thank you very much. Once again, this has been another live stream. The title here is Thinking More About AKAASH Singh and the Situation Surrounding Him Behind the Scene. Again, this is the behind the scenes segment where I give you a behind the scene look. I say behind the scenes because my ancestors tell me apparently saying behind the scenes is a correct speech. Again, English. I acknowledge that most people who speak English will say behind the scenes. But anyway, I have the right to deviate a bit from my own segment. Anyway, once again, the title is Thinking More About AKAASH Singh and the Situation Surrounding Him Behind the Scene. My name is Chimoge. You can also call me Moge. If you want to look me up, I published a lot under my metaphysically correct name. Again, I know most people don't give their name that for, which is Chimoge Nke-Ram. Chimoge Nke-Ram. If you want to find my government name, that's in the U.S. and Nigeria. I'm a dual citizen. I was born and raised in the United States, but both my parents were born in Nigeria, so dual citizenship. The name would be Chimoge Chijioke Ibe. Chimoge Chijioke Ibe. That last name is spelled I-D-E. And then another white structured name for me would be Chimoge Chijioke Ibe Moko. The Ibe Moko is the same one, Ibe, Oji Ibe Moko. That's just another name based on family history. So that's another way you can find me. Published stuff under that name in the past, especially when I was writing for the Harvard Political Review and also when I was managing editor and some other positions there as an undergraduate. So you might have seen that. And even when I graduated from Harvard, that was the name that I used to graduate. You know? So anyway, name on my diploma. Anyway, sorry, forgive me, I'm just thinking of something. But anyway, I'm just identifying myself. So those are some names for me. The given name is Shimoge. Moge is the shorter form of that name that I just, bigging up more to keep it simple. Again, I'll go into that more in the future. I've talked about it, so, at some point I'll go into that more. Just to get very specific. And then another name for me is Nkworie, Nkworie, Nkworie. What is that? Basically, been told my ancestors that name means Shango. It's a big person in the Madio, the god of thunder. If you want to use another route, it combines the words Nkwo and Orie. If you want to say it quickly, those are two. And again, this is not metaphysically correct, but I'm just giving out this information so you can find it. Igbo market days, IGBO market days. Look them up. There are four according to common speech, I'll say. It would be Eke, Orie, Akwa, and Nkwo, combined in Nkwo and Orie together. Nkwo is associated with wind, Orie is associated with water. It's really like fire, water, earth, and air, four elements. So anyway, I use that name to publish music. It's the name of the network under which I publish music. I was just there before this live stream warming up. That's spelled Nkworie. And I usually stylize it by capitalizing both the N and the O, even though it's one word. So anyway, those are ways you can find me. And of course, you can look up, send all your comments, and those evangelists everywhere. All right. Thank you very much. Benediction, God, friend forever. May your life be free of sin. God.